Here's update 1 on Tropical Depression 9, currently located near the Cape Verde Islands. By the way, I'm not using my usual microphone because it's broken for some reason, so if my sound quality isn't as good today, then apologies in advance. But this storm is likely to become our next tropical storm in the Atlantic, and could become the first hurricane of the season, about time too, as it moves out to sea in the eastern Atlantic. The primary threat at the moment is on the southern Cape Verde Islands. That's where we have a tropical storm warning at the moment. It's still a tropical depression, 30 miles per hour, pressure's 1,007 millibars, but tropical storm warnings already in effect ahead of the storm, in effect for the islands of Mayo, Santiago, Fogo and Brava in the Cape Verde Islands. That's the southernmost islands of that island chain as the storm moves towards the south of those islands. So we could see some tropical storm conditions. These are the percentages, the probabilities in the next 4 days. 70% for the southernmost islands, as low as 30% for the islands in the northeast, for instance. So that's my percentages, but that's what I think about the situation at least, and I don't think it's too far off what we'll probably see. Certainly a high chance of tropical storm conditions in the south. So let's take a look at the current sea surface temperatures. It's just off this map, but the sea surface temperatures near the storm at the moment are quite warm, warm enough to sustain tropical storm development, though if it does move towards the north, the further it moves towards the north, will mean colder sea surface temperatures, and indeed that would obviously mean weakening and possible degeneration earlier than what it would have been if it stayed further south. So these are the intensity comparisons. You can see here the models at the moment, most of them predicting the storm to reach hurricane strength. One of them there, the DSHP model, predicting it to be a weak category 3 storm, but I doubt that will happen. This is the track forecast. You can see the blue and the green line there operating on this run. You can see how it moves towards curves towards the northwest gradually, mainly as it moves away from the Cape Verde Islands out to sea. This is the shear comparisons, the wind shear of the next 5 days. You can see it's remaining low, especially over the 2 to 3 day period, but after that it will increase slightly, so that could cause some limited development and degeneration possibly. The sea surface temperatures, as I said earlier, the further it goes north the colder it will get, but it should stay at least marginal for the next 5 days or so, possibly dipping just below if it moves towards the north. The humidity is likely to drop gradually over the next 5 days, from around 80% as it is right now to around 60% in 5 days time, but not too much of concern at the moment. This is the latest satellite imagery on the floater. You can see how it's moving out to sea from Africa, halfway between Africa and the Cape Verde Islands, but probably closer to the latter now as it moves towards the west. This might be an hour or two old, but you can see how it's just towards the south of those islands, and the core of the storm will pass to the south as it moves towards the west, and then eventually it will curve towards the northwest, but it will clear the islands before it does that. So tropical storm conditions possible, but it probably won't be sustained for too long, or indeed be too intense, because it will be a weak storm as it passes. We might not reach tropical storm intensity by then, but it just could do, and that's why we have tropical storm warnings currently in effect. No other areas of land under threat at this time, obviously, as it moves out to sea. So this is September the 9th. The world tropics at the moment, fairly quiet, to be quite honest. We have the remnants of Gabrielle, that's Invest 92, and we also have Tropical Depression 9, of course. And then moving over to the Pacific, we have Invest 93W in the Western Pacific, not too far from the international dateline. But those are the 3 systems that are active in the world at the moment. Quite little, really, for the beginning of September. It's quite an active period in the tropics, but this is the Atlantic Ocean. You can see Tropical Depression 9 over there, and 92L towards the western half of the Atlantic, and the remnants of 98L as well in between those two. So it's currently 7 tropical storms so far. This is likely to be our 8th very soon. Humberto, the name will be. No hurricanes yet, still sticking out like a sore thumb there on the 2013 compared screen. 116th busiest season on record, but also that means it's about the 40-something least busiest season on record, quietest season on record. No major hurricanes yet either, of course, like many of the seasons around it at the moment. You can track this storm, and indeed any others that form, at the website force13.com/stormtracking.html. That's the main page for the storm tracking information. You can also find us elsewhere on the web, Facebook and Twitter. Just search Force 13. You should find us fairly easily enough, and please do visit the website between videos, because that's where you'll probably get the most up-to-date information in between this video and the next one that comes out, which will probably be either during the day if tropical storm warnings are still in effect, or at midnight, 24 hours from now, midnight UTC on September the 10th. That will be Tuesday. But until then, that's all for now.